Gonna start the coffee.
Yeah, if it's there. It's not
It's
like
there.
this.
It's party time. Get up.
Oh, I am. I'm somewhat well rested. Somewhat. I decided to take myself to bed last night pretty damn early.
We were up talking late,
Yeah,
trying to keep track of all of the cancellations.
yeah, yeah. I went to bed early so I could wake up early.
There you go.
Yeah. I mean, I could barely keep my. I know I'm getting older because I could barely keep my eyes open, and I'm like, my goodness, it's so. I'm so tired. And then I thought, I'm looking at the clock. It's 9:34. Then it dawns on me that we just sprung forward. So it's actually probably like 8:34 somewhere. And oh man, I'm so
Just made
tired.
you feel older, huh?
Yeah, it did. Yeah,
Oh,
it
your clock's adjusted. I
How's
just work
everybody?
until I'm exhausted anymore. That's all you can do.
How's everybody doing out there? Trico in the chat room. How you doing? Good morning, everyone listening. Good morning, listening. If you just joined us on INDIEVOLT Radio, which just went live 10 seconds ago. Thank you for joining us. Right now, we are saying a big hello, big hello to our friends in Germany. Hello.
We
Uh,
won't. We won't insult you by trying to speak German.
yeah, no, yeah.
Dave the
Dave,
Supreme is
yep,
in the
Dave
is in the
Supreme.
house. Good
Good
morning, Dave.
morning, Dave. Oh, is everybody locked in, ready for a breakfast buzz this morning where we're going to talk about all kinds of horrible things related to the coronavirus and in our industry. What's going to happen? A lot of people are concerned. Got some questions to answer.
But
Um,
first, let's ask our buddy
mhm.
what's going on in the world.
Terrible things are going on in the world right now. Absolutely terrible.
Okay, I guess you're right.
Terrible things are going on. No one's making any money. It's going to be a rough couple of weeks here. Which is weird because, well, we'll talk about that once we go into the proper show. But I'm concerned. I'm seeing a lot of people post things. I'm seeing companies put a lot of money into Facebook trying to get those advertisements out. Hey, come on, come over here and buy something from us. Don't it's weird.
We'll talk more about that on the other
Yeah,
side because
yeah,
there's some things we should be buying and some things that we should be calm about.
yeah. Although if you're interested, hit me up. I got toilet tissue. I'm doing a special right now. 10.50 €. If you're
You're gonna
looking.
send your kid to college
Yeah, yeah,
off of that,
yeah,
off of
yeah.
Charmin. That's
Online
what every,
college because we're never leaving the house again ever.
yeah, online college.
Yeah, we're never leaving the house again.
Yeah.
Oh goodness.
All right, are we ready?
Yeah, go ahead and roll that intro.
I'll roll that bean footage here as soon as I find it. Uh oh. Maybe gone. Still looking.
I can find it.
I got it.
All right. Good.
It's the breakfast
morning.
buzz.
Happy Thursday. We've almost made it to the end of the week. Almost. Not quite, but we're halfway there. I think the first time you guys can actually see behind me. I got the camera set up a little bit differently. Let's move it that way. There we go.
There you go. Needed to move your wall back. I had to put my current back up. Move my rack over because I was cutting vinyl all day yesterday.
Did you?
So
Yeah.
I got a monster short order, literally about what is that? About 2.5 inches thick.
Yeah.
Yeah, biggest order I've ever gotten. Right when I'm in the middle of another big commercial job, that's keeping me from working on my crowdfunding book. So I'm not complaining though.
No.
I'm not complaining. Never bitch about paying work because it could dry up at any moment.
Yeah, it could. Yeah, it could. And it promises to, if this virus gets any worse, it promises to get a lot worse. Of course, the virus doesn't seem to be getting any worse, but people's hysteria is. I just might.
Well, they're expecting the virus to get much worse. That's the
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I believe that it's going to I'm hoping it burns itself out, but in the meantime, I'm not going outside.
I saw a graph with two humps. And one great big one that said, if you guys don't do this, don't stay home, don't move, or don't stand still for 2 weeks. That's going to happen. Or a little smaller one says that's what happens if you stay home and let the infected run through and burn the virus off. But I don't know. They just released another study this morning that said that the virus can stay in the air up to 37 days. So I think we're here for a while.
Tom Hanks, national treasure.
Down in Australia.
Down in Australia
He's getting an extended vacation.
Yeah. That's coronavirus.
Voluntarily. And he says he's good. He feels, he's got a cough and he's got a fever, and they tested him and said he had the virus, but it's not like he's, on his deathbed.
Yeah.
That one guy, I think it was a guy in Seattle, an EMT that caught it, that just drained the shit out of him. He was in a hospital bed talking about how rough it was.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's important that if you get it, just go lay down.
It's important to get that immune system boosted up.
Take your emergency vitamins. Rob says, so are we all playing Survivor now? We are. It's we are all on that playing Survivor Pandemic Edition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems that way, especially when the president gets on the air and goes, hey, guess what? You're not going to Europe for a while.
Yeah.
But anybody getting out of Europe can go through London. So as long as you want to go through that funnel, you're fine. I don't think that stops a whole lot. That's just going to infect England a little faster. But that's my opinion.
Yeah. I believe that what we're shocked about is that there's been so many cancellations of different things, and we'll get into that.
Yeah.
As well. I mean, Ace Northwest, I got the email for that. That was canceled. The rest of the NBA season is canceled, but I mean,
it was almost done anyway.
Yeah.
We're starting March Madness, which will be played in a
well, that's college.
Yeah. That usually kicks up after right as the NBA is winding down, right?
Yeah. What else is canceled?
I don't know. I don't pay much attention to sports. So.
There's a good chance that WWE.
They'll keep going. Their TV thing is too big. They'll just do it in a closed arena.
Yeah. Trico says, "Hey guys, is it my PC or does the show keep freezing? I'm not having any issues over here.
No, we're good here.
Yeah.
It might be your PC, my friend.
It could be. I don't know. I have to ask the rest of the chat. Do you guys have any problems saying?
Could be that governmental interference too. They're talking about the virus. We need to listen.
Yeah. Shut them down. All right, there we go. Who is this messaging me? Oh, okay. I see. It's a Twitter message. Okay, got that.
A Twitter message.
A Twitter
Standards and
message.
practices.
I get plenty of Twitter messages, and sometimes they come in before the show goes on the air.
All sorts of twits coming in.
Yeah. I wasn't gonna put this one question up, Randy, and but I got the question, and I figured. I said, well, if somebody steals the poor guy's idea, because we do got some idea thieves out there. Not in the chat right now, but there are idea thieves.
Dave says he's all good here.
Yeah,
there are idea thieves. Yeah. Oh yeah.
And this guy posted this one that asked us about his story, and I guess the idea is if the story is okay. And I did reach back out to the guy about clarification of his question, and he did tell me that's what he was writing out about. He wanted to know if, if he was going to run into any problems with his story from the particular group he associates with. Well, I told him, I don't know. I don't speak for any groups, but I can tell you, that story sounds pretty good. But I'll put the question up for you.
I'm with Groucho Marx. I wouldn't want to be a part of any group that would have me as a member.
I'll post the question here for you, and everyone else. Give me 1 second. All right, there we go. Because I don't know how to work this thing all of a sudden.
Rob says, I noticed it. You may not be working. May not be wrong. YouTube is actively trying to suppress these types of talks to stop false info spreading.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Here's the question right there.
I consider myself CG, and I'm worried that some of its politics in my upcoming comic is going to get me in trouble. It's about the USA replacing the president who had superpowers and was killed fighting a terrorist with his twin brother, who's a non powered screw up, and the leaps and trickery they use to keep it all secret. Harper D. I don't think you have a problem, Harper. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I give you full permission, like you needed it. You know, you don't have to ask iNDIEVOLT's permission to run a story, dude. It's an interesting idea. That's kind of, you might want to sit down and watch the movie Dave, if you can find it at your local video rental place. If you have a video or VCR, you definitely want to watch that movie. Dig it up, because that's, though this president wasn't super powered, it's the same basic plot.
Mm-hmm.
That would be my concern. Don't call it Dave. Don't call it Super Dave. But I don't see that. I don't see that as being too political, just because it has to do with the government. Now, if they were up there spewing and, spouting off Orange Man good, Orange Man bad rhetoric, every balloon, that might be a problem. But you can always have a character or two in there with differing opinions.
That's true.
And get away with it. Well, it all depends upon the message that you want to get across. To me, excuse for a sec. My throat always gets dry when we go on the air. To me, that just sounds like politics as usual. The candidate working to get elected seems to have all the superpowers in the world, and then when he gets in, he's a non-powered screw-up. So that to me, that just sounds like a commentary about politics in general, which I think is pretty cool. It's a good idea, though.
Yeah.
And that's trademarked to Harper D, by the way. In case
Yeah,
everybody's sitting here going, yeah, that is a good idea.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna take it.
That would be cool. You can't call it Super President either, because that was an old 60s cartoon. You can look that up on YouTube.
Yeah, I think
That was long before Varian's time. We could probably pull an image of it up. Because he's got, the Super President kind of looks like Captain Canuck when he's dressed. So
there we go. All right.
let me work that up real fast here. I can find an image of it.
Yeah,
It was a one-season cartoon. Done right at the end of the superhero era of Saturday morning cartoons.
I don't think that I think that you doesn't have a problem with this. I don't think that anyone would have a problem with it. Your story is based in, I'm guessing, the White House and what happens when you try to replace the president with with his twin brother, who is not superpowered. So I would say,
I think it's a good idea.
yeah, I don't think you're gonna have any problems with it. No. I wouldn't see anybody. It sounds like an interesting story. I'd like to see it. I'm not sure. You didn't mention if you were the writer or the artist on it, even in our follow-up email. I forgot to ask, but I'd like to see the book. I'd like to see what it's how it's going to shape up. Make sure you stay in touch with us, and keep us up to date on how the book's coming along.
There he is.
Yeah,
Super President.
that's like Captain Britain.
Captain Britain. He looks like Captain Canuck.
I don't know. It looks more like Captain Britain to me.
Oh.
That looks a lot more like.
I was always a fan of the original Captain Britain outfit, where he had the staff with the little tube ending to it. But
he's a. I know that they've. I know that the Captain Canuck. I also got Captain.
that might be that also might be before your time.
Yeah, I know the Captain. Well, I've seen him because I think I've seen him in
Captain Canuck. Yeah, Fanicon uses is that imagery for part of their advertising.
Okay, yeah.
Because they've had Richard Cumley there, the guy who created Captain Canuck.
Yeah. I think that character design looks pretty cool. Though, yeah, I wouldn't. There's been characters who've been the president or superhero before.
Am I still sharing my screen?
Yeah.
Because there's Captain Britain.
Yeah. If you can't see it, Randy's just going to different pictures of Captain Britain. Uh,
That's a little small. Now
yeah.
that I flip back to it, but that's Captain Britain. He was kind of cool back in the day. But anyway,
Let's see.
but yeah, Harper, go for it.
All right. Yeah, I wouldn't have a problem with that. I don't think anyone would. Harper, get your story out there. Go ahead and do it. That doesn't seem like that's going to be a story that's going to be a problem to anybody.
No,
If you
I
notice at the
wouldn't
bottom
think
of the
so.
screen, we are rolling a ticker, keeping up, trying to keep
And
up with.
if you're self conscious about putting too much politics in it, then just read it. Read it through and run by your judgment. Because if you think there's too much in it, it's your work. And I would say yes, there's too much in it.
If you notice at the bottom of the screen, we're running a ticker. It shows what's all.
As more cons become available or non-available,
Yeah,
we'll run them here.
yeah. We that, and then we got
Ace.
yeah, Ace canceled. Boston Comic Con. That was the Ace show. They're out.
Okay.
It's gonna grow. Unfortunately, I think we're gonna get some more cancellations. We're gonna get some massive cancellations here in the next couple of weeks.
I think we'll have a big long list on Tuesday. We'll be kind of like the local TV station announcing school closings.
Yeah, we'll put them all up on the screen. Run a side graphic. All the cancel shows. You're not going to because, and that's one of our questions here. What you got? Rob says Super Prez is okay to use, and the Carnival Cruises just suspended operations.
Yeah, that's not surprising.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at
Yep.
that. That's
There goes my Bahama trip.
yeah.
Damn it.
I
Not
you
really.
know I'm not surprised at any of these cancellations. Unfortunately,
I'm sure you're going to see a lot more of them as they go along, and the economy is in pretty close to a free fall at this point, and I think that's the world economy and not just ours. So, and then these guys over in OPEC can't decide on what to call a barrel of oil or how much to charge for a barrel of oil and production, and that's going right through the floor as well. So, we're kind of in a double header right now, as far as the economy goes. My expletive deleted con schedule for the year is expletive deleted. Right up to the expletive deleted. Right up the expletive deleted. Because of this expletive deleted virus, no refunds being offered to me, just rescheduled dates that have me double booked 3 states apart or just waiting on a date with my thumb up my expletive deleted. Like expletive deleted, Chris T. We should get a little beep. A little beep sound. Beep. Sorry about your expletive deleted. But yeah, this problem, I have a feeling this year is going to be a genuine cluster.
yeah.
We're TVMA, so
Yeah.
I can say it's going to be a genuine cluster fuck. And we're all just going to have to bear with it until people calm down and the virus calms down and the world gets warmer and things go smoother. And a marathon in Bowling Green, Ohio is canceled. I know Mark's not very worried because Grand Rapids Con's not until way into the fall. So
I will add
hopefully
it to the.
things will have changed by then.
I will add it to the list though. Hold on one second. I will add it to the list. Now,
The thing Mark's probably really worried about is if these other cons who are rescheduling end up bumping up against his weekend. But Grand Rapids Con is a pretty huge show, so somebody would be, very silly not to attend there if they're already booked. That's just my opinion. I'm sure it's Mark's opinion too.
well, yeah. I mean, but are you guys worried that? Oops, I didn't do that right, did I? I better fix that. Are you guys worried that like they should maybe take some of the cons and say, okay, well, look, we're gonna try again next year instead of trying to move the dates around. Like some of these dates, like you can't postpone a show as big as San Diego Comic Con.
Oh no, No,
That doesn't
and you
get
can't-
postponed. That
at
gets
this point, they're probably scared to death
yeah.
because San Diego is they're too big to fail. I mean,
Well-
if they fail, it's going to just send a shockwave all the way through. You know, the Diamond Retailer Conference is canceled.
Yeah.
Also,
yeah, I was gonna
so-
put that up there, but then I figured it's Diamond.
Well, yeah, but not just that. It affects some of the alternative comics, especially, and through the direct market. But I was thinking, how fast did Diamond cancel? Did they cancel because of the virus, or because they didn't want? They're just kind of tired of hearing it from retailers.
Yeah.
How bad they're not performing.
If WrestleMania canceled, though, will be. They've already got contingency plans though about running it in their smaller arena.
Yeah, he's
that they
talking
own.
about the money that comes in from the people going
Yeah.
to see the event too.
Yeah.
Because those are huge. The Mania events are huge. And Mark says hopefully things will change by then. I can let you know what cancels that I hear about.
Yeah, please do, Mark.
Please
Keep us-
do, Mark. Absolutely.
We'll get the word out there.
We'll run them. We'll run them down here so that folks know. We'll talk about it. So it's important to keep people informed.
Yeah, I mean, it's really shocking to see people come. How many people will come out there and just cancel their events? I mean, when the Diamond Conference canceled, I'm like, do they even get 100 people? But I guess they do. I mean,
Well, like I said, I think some of these events are canceling because it's more
convenient.
Though it doesn't help when you have a governor in this freaking state who lowers the bar to, if you're going to be in a group on 100, you should not go. It's like, everybody else is at 250.
Yeah.
But my show in April, I got a show coming up here in Flint, April 18th, and we've stretched the show out. We've got a little bit more space. We've got a big room up on the second floor that's going to be kind of an artist alley where Dan's Dream will be set up and displayed, original artwork at. And I don't have any plans at this point on canceling the show. There are plenty of sanitizers around the market. And they've been preparing for this ever since it started up. So I'm not too worried about it. I'm hoping that we're still going to keep going. But if the market decides to close, I'm not going to have a choice.
Yeah.
So then I will have to close. But then they'll refund me my money.
Mark is waiting to hear about AlmaCon and Fantasticon Toledo.
We're all curious about Fantasticon Toledo.
Yeah. I don't see a way for them to finish to do that show. Honestly, I mean they're.
Well, the cases that they've had sprung up were over in Cuyahoga Falls, or Cuyahoga County, which is over close to Cleveland. That's about 4 hours away from Toledo.
Yeah, the blurb that I read said that it was it's Cleveland is in the seat of that county, so it's I would
they're
wonder.
kinda
It's like 3
tucked
hours
over in
away.
the corner. It's where all the rich people are, pretty
Yeah,
much
three-
in that area.
Got a lot of relatives. I was looking at that county, and I got some relatives in Garfield Heights and Maple Heights that they are in that area where the virus is or was reported. So and now we got news that
We're just gonna laugh at Trico's comment in the comment section. And please don't post that. That's not funny.
did she?
Yes, she did.
Oh.
She got the remark was about Heather Antos. She just got promoted to senior editor over at Valiant.
Yeah.
As what is the expression? Well, anyway, never mind.
First chair on the Titanic.
First chair on the Titanic.
Yeah.
Well, that could be.
Yeah,
That's a-
you got
that's a
what is it?
good
You got
one.
yeah.
No,
but
I was thinking of falling upwards, but that's
it's like
we don't
getting
have to go there.
it's like getting a first-rate room in the Titanic. You're still gonna die.
Ding,
Everybody's
ding,
still
ding.
singing.
You
But,
might actually get on a boat.
Yeah.
No.
You sit on the coast of California
Yeah.
for what is now 20 days, and they're pissed, upset, can't get out.
Mark says Joe Neoporte over at I think that's how you pronounce his name, over at Fantasticon is planning on the show happening, but whether or not the facility will allow it is another story. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, because a lot of this stuff is not in the hands, and we should let
Yeah.
people know
Well,
that.
like I said, if the market closes down, I'm not going to have a choice on my show.
Yeah, there's not, the promoter could say, yeah, we can do this. We're
Yeah.
still going to do it. But the venue, who they, the show promoter does not own, can say, nope, you're not doing that here. We're not having it, especially when you got a venue. Like, I would like to think that most places would be okay with it. Like, I got a friend that's getting married in a couple days. And I'm like, dude, it's, you know, and they are legitimately concerned that their wedding maybe postponed. Another friend of mine, uh, she doesn't know if she's gonna go to a wedding because the bride doesn't know if she's gonna make it. She's in the military and her base may quarantine and she
She's
can't leave.
stationed overseas.
No, she's stationed here,
Okay.
but her base may quarantine and she can't get off base.
That's true. Well, she has a better chance of making it then, but they might make special circumstances for her
Yeah,
because they don't want to get interrupted like that, especially if she's got the time off already scheduled.
yeah,
I don't know. Every all depends on how much her superiors like her company.
yeah. The Grand Rapids Toy Show was planning on it happening, but the show is at a school, so who knows if they get closed? That's also very.
And that's throwing everybody into turmoil because if these elementary and high schools close, that's going to throw the parents into a tizzy, trying to make arrangements to have their kids watched.
Yeah.
That's a domino effect I don't think a lot of people want to have to face. Speaks of grandpa who watches the grandchild now after school. So
Yeah, and imagine when that child brings. And my biggest concern is that, some of the kids that go around some of the most vulnerable members of society with this virus. So they go around the people with compromised immune systems or senior citizens and spread the disease to them. They can't handle it, and now you've got a rising amount of deaths on your hands. Yeah. Same with Muskegon. I can't pronounce that.
all Rob says the Florida university are all going online. It seems all of the universities here in Michigan
Yeah.
have switched over to online.
And I'll tell you something else that I found. A friend of mine pointed out to me yesterday.
And we just had cases pop up yesterday,
Yeah.
right after the election. So, Tuesday night they announced them. They waited until the election was done.
A college here announced yesterday, college in my area, community college, but I guess they are community college. They announced that they were shutting down for the semester. And the problem with that is a lot of those students, she was telling me, are going to lose. A lot of her students are going to lose their scholarships. And she was freaking out because she's like, oh my gosh, she like instantly started rubbing her face, and she's like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. And her phone started going off about maybe a couple minutes after that, and she's like, her phone was she put her phone in the car because she's like, I can't deal with this right now. And these students are calling and calling because they want to know what's happening to their scholarships.
Yeah.
As far as an artist being concerned about, Rob says I may lose all the shows planned next weekend. Yeah, I mean it is going to affect people who depend on this industry.
It's going to have to run it by ear and hope for the best.
It will depend. It will affect people who rely on this industry to make their money. It's those I don't want to call them journeymen, but those journeymen, artists and people who are on the road, a lot to make them to put their books out there, their artwork out there. They are going to be affected by these closures.
Yeah.
And not just that, you got to also understand the promoters. They have if the event lets them put, if the venue lets them put the event on there, they got to deal with another thing they can't control, which is reduced fans, reduced attendance because people don't want to go out there. When you got a governor, when you got a governor saying don't be in crowds of 100 or more,
that ain't helping anything.
No, it doesn't help. So I mean, and they don't be mad at the promoter. He's just trying to put on the best show he can. He or she can.
There's 101. I got to go.
Yeah. And I wonder how long before she starts telling that people are the fire marshals to get involved.
That's not.
If it's over 100 people, you shut it down.
It's not mandatory. It's just a recommendation. Thank goodness.
Yeah, but
if
right
it was
now
mandatory, I don't think I'd have a choice but to shut the show down.
Yeah. And you still got a couple weeks, so you still got a chance to kind of figure to see what's gonna happen. But as far as I mean, I've
Yep.
heard a lot of artists. I've seen a lot of friends that are artists, and a lot of the guys are upset. Guys and girls, they're
Yep.
wondering, and they're running online sales. I've seen them jump to a lot of people are doing online auctions or online art streams, or just trying to figure out a way to make up for that lost income they were depending on, and they were hoping to get. Uh, Randy, what would you do in a situation if you're a traveling artist or traveling publisher trying to put work out there? And now you've lost shows. You've lost 4 or 5 shows this month. What do you do in order to make up that income? You're muted.
I don't want people to hear me blow my nose. I don't think there's anything you can do at this point. You're just going to have to absorb it and do your best. Unless you have, it's always good. Most artists know this already. It's always good to have a side hustle going on where you're doing work in 2 or 3 different directions.
Yeah.
Like right now, I've got a commercial job and I got a graphics commercial job that I'm in the middle of. So
All right.
there's a couple of places and neither one of those are affected by large crowds, thank goodness. So
Good. Good.
it's all
And
good here.
I
Might
would.
be time. I was going to say it might be time to run out to your local retailer, stock up on some comics, and just sit inside and catch up. You know.
Mark says, even if the shows happen, you have to wonder what the fear being perpetuated by the media will do to attendance, and that's
Yeah.
what we're talking about. Yeah, that's it's there are gonna be people who don't want to come. They don't want to come to the shows because they're afraid.
Yeah. I blame the media for the rush on toilet paper because it doesn't make any logical sense.
Yeah, yeah. There's a
You know.
the Walmart aisle by my house is very funny. It's like really like it's as low as I've ever seen it. And you got people. I seen the workers out there putting up toilet tissue, and people are constantly getting it. It's like, guys. I'm pretty sure Charmin's happy.
Oh, I bet they're at capacity.
Yeah,
They're begging people to keep going, but
yeah. But
I can't see there being a toilet paper shortage per se.
yeah,
I was seeing there was some public place out there that had their toilet tissue roll on a chain and lock now, so that people
it,
can't walk off with
th-
it.
this whole thing has made me consider one thing that I had not considered: The Walking Dead. What did they use toilet tissue? If there's a shortage, this massive shortage, what in the hell did they use for toilet tissue? Just think about that for a minute, everybody. Think about that.
Well, there's a lot of things you don't. That's the kind of show you can't think very hard about. Because I've always said, what happens to anybody who's up north during winter? You know, the zombies. What happens? Do they would have to freeze in place?
Yeah.
Do they once they thaw out? You know. In fact, I was thinking about if I did a zombie story, that's what I would call it. It's blood thaw, and it would be about a bunch of guys in the upper part of Michigan or in the UP that go around and hunt frozen zombies and kill them. People that are frozen in place, and it'd be a easy pickings. Or the ones that are in, do they hibernate? Does the brain freeze? Like as if they
when
ate
you
too
eat
much
ice cream, it does.
like they ate too much ice cream, yeah, and keep them from moving.
I'm working on a short-term bank loan right now to help us get through. We are figuring that our income will slow down a lot, and we hope that doesn't happen. Mark, it's you know, it's a very scary time. But your show is
Yeah.
way in November, so you might be on
Well,
the
Mark
better end. As you,
also does a lot of shows throughout the year, also to sell stuff for
yeah,
his personal income. So
yeah.
yeah, I can see that going on.
Gabe says a friend that works at Meyer said there was a horde of MSU students raiding the store yesterday. Yeah,
That's because they told them to work at home,
yeah,
do it online, so they're stocking up. So
Yeah.
you're going to see all the convenience store food, all the toilet paper, all the
no
hand
ramen
sanitizer.
noodles.
No, all the ramen noodles. Yeah, gone.
Yeah.
I think you're if it gets really crazy, you're going to see some hard runs on a lot of goods. Like I said, now's the time to stock up with your favorite comics, just in case you're forced to stay home for 2 weeks,
Yeah, just in case. So
just in
yeah,
case.
but Chris T just
Amazon and eBay are making killings right now, though.
just
That was just
understand until that's why the mail service works. That they shut that down.
yeah,
Chris just understand that a lot of people are going through it. Be nice to your promoters. Understand it's not your promoter's fault.
yeah,
Your promoter doesn't want to cancel the event any more than you want it canceled, but
right.
they have to go by what state rules are or what. Remember, they got to deal with the venue owner, and then the venue owner has to do what the state says. Cause so if the state jumps up and says, or that city says no events, then no events.
Yeah.
Um, Rob says push online sales, build a stronger online that work network. People are going to be home more, and this is going to give people an opportunity to actually strengthen their online presence.
Yeah, it's
It
true.
could, it could.
Speaking of online presence, what's our number right now at IndieVolt Radio?
IndieVolt Radio is sitting at. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Hey, the tab closed itself.
Surprise question.
Yeah,
Sorry.
the tab closed.
Gotta be prepared.
itself.
Gotta be prepared.
Hold on me. 1 second. I will let you know. All my tabs are just. What you guys don't see is that I have like at least 20 tabs open, but this
That's why
have
you
different.
freeze up too much. You need
They
to
have
narrow
different
those
forms of
tabs down.
news on it, so I have to go. I have to be able to bounce around and see what people are talking about.
Do you have a tab to Bleeding Cool?
I don't. I don't.
Well, there you go. You're
Yeah.
smarter than most.
Yeah. 9:53. Oh, okay. There we go. Sorry, I was reading something. I don't know if you guys know, with all the cancellations happening though. You know how long this is going to go on, and I was looking at an article that said we could be looking at this for the next until the next winter. So at least until October. Um,
I don't know. I don't know about that. We'll just have to ride it out and see.
yeah.
Like I said, that everybody needs to keep a calm head and uh, try to be as informed as possible.
Gabe says if I get told to work from home, I might have to start putting pencil to paper again and get some art done. We are prepping for it. Yeah,
Everybody is.
yeah, you gotta. I mean, if you get prepped for it, I already work from home, so.
Yeah.
And one of our last questions of the day is from our good friend L. Nolan.
Hell, Nolan again.
Yeah.
Hey guys, so I finally ordered a buzz box, but I have some questions. I know you said you pushed back the shipping until late March, but when can we expect it to ship? Early April? I'm excited to get my hands on those indie goodies. Better be worth it, boys. L. Nolan, L. Nolan. We're working on it, buddy.
Yeah. I can tell you that only reason I didn't push the shipping back. What I did was I pushed the box closing back, because I wanted to give people another opportunity to get in there and order the box that they wanted. So yeah, the boxes are ready. I can close those boxes out and go ahead and ship them. I'll probably close them out on the 20th, and then proceed to ship
them
out.
shortly thereafter.
Yeah.
As long as everything's in that you want to put in the box.
Yeah, everything else is stuff I gotta go get locally.
Okay.
I've got some pickups, some other pickups I gotta make. But everything that was gonna be shipped in has been shipped in. I've received it. So yeah, we are gonna be, those boxes will be going out, and I really hope that you guys do make online opening videos and come back here on the chat. Let us know what you think of them. We like to hear it. We like to hear.
We might even run them on the show.
Yeah, what books you liked. If there was a book in there you didn't like, let us know. There's some other content there besides books too. So
now we're staying quiet about a few things. So
yeah, there's a few
hopefully
books in there.
you'll have some good, pleasant surprises.
Yeah.
Throw that up there. That your picture, can you? Do we have a picture for that?
What, the buzz box?
Yeah.
I don't believe I have a picture for it in here. I think there was. Yeah, there was one, and then I think I took it out. But I can of course always bring it up on the site. Give me 1 second, and I will do that. Yeah, Elmo, I appreciate you buying it. I ordering one. Those boxes will be closed out on my birthday on March 20th. So
There you go.
I will close those boxes out, and they will begin shipping shortly thereafter. And if anyone again wants to know what L Nolan is talking about, he's talking about our lovely, lovely Buzz box. You can pick.
IndieVolt.com.
Yep, indievolt.com. You can go there, go to the Vote shop, and what you're going to find is a couple different items, but you'll be looking for an item that says the Indie Volt Buzz Box. It is $30. That's without shipping and handling. And there it is right there. You're going to get a box in the mail. Looks like this. And inside that box is a bunch of independent goodies,
Goodies.
crafted to perfection and curated by us here at Indie Volt. It's going to
By
contain a lot of
some
cool
great
stuff.
talent, some of whom have been on the show. Most of
Yep.
whom that have been on the show.
Yep, you're gonna get your and the thing is, the reason why what makes this box, I think, even more worth it is that the stuff you're gonna get, if you went to a con and bought all of it, it'd be well over that, well over the amount you paid. So you're gonna come out, smelling like a rose if you buy this box, and plus, it gives you an opportunity when you go to those cons to find those artists and pick up other stuff from them. And I didn't want to get a lot of stuff signed in the box, even though every artist offered it. Like, you want me to sign it? A lot of those comics I didn't want signed because I wanted people to be able to go to the artist and talk to them at shows. So hopefully, everyone gets their box will like it. We got they are shipping. They'll be shipping out after my birthday though, which is the 20th. I'll ship them out. Make sure that everyone gets one. I don't want you guys to be disappointed.
Yeah.
So anybody who ordered one will get their box. Hopefully, I'm shipping them out after my birthday. They should start showing up some places depending on where you live. Probably that week or I don't think anybody
Right
will
towards
get
the
their
end
book.
of March, start
Yeah.
of April.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, if you don't get your box, so you need to contact me. All the boxes will have tracking on them, though. All of them, so we'll be able to figure out where they're at if they don't get to you. But yeah, so indievolt.com, click on the Volt shop, and it will take you to the IndieVolt shop page where you can find that box as well as some other little goodies we got there. Yeah, Randy, that is all of our questions.
Mark is saying that he's glad his event isn't until November for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you've got a big buffer in between there to hopefully let this virus burn itself out. But I don't know if it's gonna be like, we're worried. Everybody's worried, but I don't know if we're gonna.
And that's natural. It's just don't get too paranoid over it because there's a lot of that stuff that's out of your control.
Like,
You're
but
not
like
gonna be able to
like
do anything about it
for
anyway.
for instance, Mark's show. Mark's show was way too big to postpone. He can't put that show off for, oh, we're gonna. It's November already, so he can't say, oh, well, we're gonna push it back to March.
Yeah, and you've haven't heard anything from a lot of the major shows because they're in the same situation. They're just sitting there waiting to see what happens. They're not going to cancel until they have to cancel.
Mm-hmm.
Just you know, business as usual, and try to be aware of your surroundings and be as clean as you possibly can be.
And some of the cities have
Keep that
to.
immune system up. Be careful.
You have to understand, like a city like San Diego is doing everything they can to not cancel that event. San Diego Comic Con brings in so many tourism dollars to that city that they don't want to lose it either. So they're not going to push. They're not going to come out and announce that the con has been canceled until like July if they can, if they have to. They'll
Well,
push.
when they can't when they can't avoid it anymore. That's when they'll.
I wait. I wait so long.
Yeah.
But what
I
you
would
don't want to do.
until you knew that there's no way that you could uncancel it.
Yeah.
And Florida numbers are not spiking. That are slow growth. Heat may be the answer. We will know more in a weekend or in a week.
I mean, if hopefully heat is the answer. I've seen some posts from some pages saying, "Hey, did you know African Americans are immune to the coronavirus?" Like, no, we're not. But apparently no African American is.
It started by somebody who wants African Americans to get sloppy, probably.
Yeah.
So be careful. Make sure you stay informed and get your news from legitimate sources.
Coachella was postponed until summer, throwing the summer music schedule into a tizzy. Dorfis says, "What's the topic?" Hey, Dorfis, we are talking about the cancellations of all these Comic Cons due to
A lot of major concert tours have just stopped.
yeah,
So
concerts, conventions. But conventions are, obviously our main focus here, are canceling. So, and how it's going to affect the artists and the writers and just anybody working in the comic industry, as well as the promoters. They got to worry about this too. Remember, guys, they put a lot of money into these events to get them to happen. I would like to ask Mark. Mark, would a cancellation like this affect? How does that work for celebrity guarantees or celebrity contracts? A celebrity still get paid? What happens there? Ralph says, "Dang daylight savings time." Yeah,
welcome aboard, Ralph.
yeah,
Hour late is better than never. We've just been talking about the virus anyway.
yeah. And this is again how it's
It's another
affecting
hour of
people.
that, right?
Yeah, it's affecting people and affecting my money, my bottom line. I got to get some dollars.
And tell our radio listeners around the world if they want to chime in, they're more than welcome to as
Oh
well.
yeah, I got 3 questions waiting.
Do you?
Yeah, I got 3
Great.
questions waiting. So I
So we
figured
aren't
wait.
out of questions after all.
Well, yeah, from the Ask Me Anything. But Mark says that will fall under an act of God clause. If we pull the plug on the show, we will reschedule everybody. We can go from there, and we can go from there.
Yeah, yeah. It's a cluster, like I said. It'll all be a case by case, individual by individual basis. So just gotta hang in there.
Yeah, I would assume that if we were going to cancel any events as a company,
Oh, you're not throwing a show either.
yeah, I'm not doing it, but I mean, like, as I've seen some companies pull out too,
Yeah.
and the wife is getting a little scared. There's some issues with sending the kid to school, but yeah, like Mark just said, most celebs will probably cancel on us first, though. At least that is how it's going nationwide this time. So yeah, you mean you can have celebrities, and then you have promoters, or not promoters, publishers and companies canceling before the event. Randy,
Does it?
does it
Does it?
how does it seem when a promoter, or not, again, a publisher cancels a show, and then turns around and they say, okay, well, we're not doing the show, but you can you can always go to our online store and purchase books, which is fine. I think anybody should. They should push in your online store all the time anyway. You should
Yeah,
push in,
yeah.
hey, come buy my books. Because you start to see weaknesses in in a business plan. If you lost, you lost
there-
5 shows all of a
There's a
sudden
difference. There's a big difference between promoting and begging. Mm-hmm. You should always be promoting.
now. Yeah,
But when you get up online and go, "Oh my God, we've lost income from, major shows that are pulling out, and we're not going to be able to make it unless you get up online and buy some of our stuff," to me that's a little problematic.
I have an
But
artist
you should always be promoting.
I have an artist that I spoke to recently, and I told him, I said, dude, you got to stop that. That's he's in a local area. He's got a book, and he gets mad at people. He gets mad. Hey, my book is out. He's on like the 4th, maybe 5th issue now.
Why aren't you buying my book?
Why aren't you buying my book? It's out. Don't talk to me unless you want to open it. Don't message me unless you buy my book. I don't want to hear it. Don't like the pages. Don't like when I post art unless you have bought or you're buying my book. Yeah. And I thought that was in such bad taste. I reached out to him and told him, you can't talk to people that way.
Yeah, it's just a horrible bad form. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and he wants too much for the book.
Yeah.
On top of that, he wants way too much for the book, and it's bad for him, and it's.
Mark says he has a couple of contracts now with kill clauses in them specifically for the virus. And that's not surprising.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's going to happen a lot going forward. So, Rob says here's the real issue. If it turns out how many come,
if it burns out, how many will come?
Burns out, how many will come, or how many will hit late summer, fall. It'll be a show
Yeah, show every day.
every day. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can. I think you're gonna see these shows try to. Okay, well, um,
Yeah, let's see them all trying to butt heads in the fall. It's one of the main reasons I'm not doing a fall show in Flint because I can't get a proper schedule. For one, I can't get cooperation out of everybody about where their dates are, so that I'm not bumping into anybody's heads. And then when I do, I get yelled at for, and didn't see it. Then I get yelled at for doing it.
yeah.
Plus, we had a couple of events scheduled for the fall in Flint that suck up all the parking because the parking in Flint is ludicrous, and that's their downtown development authority planning. To I don't know why they can't realize that people need to park their car, but for some reason I've run into that over and over again down there.
For INDIEVOLT Radio, the question is, this person says that their school canceled classes for the foreseeable future for the semester probably, and that is really going to hurt his art classes that he was taking. So
Yeah.
he's upset about that, and then we can understand. Yeah, I mean,
Well,
it will
here
hurt
in
your-
Michigan, we have like 100 and there's some amount of days that they can take off. And I'll bet there's been more than one school system that have counted back because we've had such a light winter to see how many of those snow days they have available and how fast they can close school down if they have to.
Yeah,
I'm sure everybody right now is looking at contingency plans.
contingency.
Yep.
To put that, a lot of schools have went to online only already. So,
Yeah.
I think that
Yeah,
you
but
know,
elementary, middle school, high schools can't do that.
listen,
You know.
guys, comics are the answer. You can go to a comic store. Nobody's in those things anymore, so there's no crowds. You'll be fine.
That was rough. Ouch. There's usually no crowds at a comic shop. Yeah, and you can go in, buy a nice big stack of comics, take home and read for a few weeks.
Yeah, yeah,
In fact, I'm sure some of them there would probably cut you a discount on some of their graphic novels if you asked them nice enough.
yeah.
So it's all good, especially the ones with a nice overstock. Just go in and say, hey, if I buy 5 of these, what can you do it for? There's a couple of weeks or a week at least worth of good reading.
Yeah, I mean, if it's some of the current
Well,
Marvel
depending
books
upon
and
what
you,
you buy.
and you can't get through it, might be too much for reading.
Yeah, there you go. I've got a thin Captain Marvel and a couple of Ms. Marvel graphic novels here. I still can't get through.
Yeah.
No matter how hard I try.
Ralph says a crazy overreaction for most. It's a Bilderberg plot.
Well, depending upon which conspiracy theory you want to adhere to.
And Dave says, for show promoters, is it too early to plan and be prepared for next year? I don't think it's ever too early to plan, but
I have an idea what I'm doing already next year. It's just that we got to get through this year first. See how that goes. So,
I don't know if you guys can hear, but there's a little bird chirping outside of my window.
I can't
And
hear.
you can't hear?
I hear the hum from your computer more.
There's a little bird chirping outside my window, and I'm hoping that a cat finds it. I hope he gets away his
too
position.
I know Mark's got a huge show though, so he's probably got planning guests even 2 or 3 years down the road.
Yeah.
So especially major ones.
I'm going to post the link if you want to come into the chat and join us and talk about this. The link is in the chat now.
In the chat now.
Yeah, so you can pop in if you like to. And
If you have the capabilities, come in and join us.
yeah.
You said there were some questions in the Ask Me Anything?
Yeah, there's 2 more. The other question is, what do we think about not going to cons? Is it safe? Should we be going to cons, or should we stay at home? Personally, at this moment, it would depend on where the con was at for me. Somewhere local, like if you told me to run to Flint, yeah, that's fine. You tell me to run to Flint, you tell me to go to Saginaw or Novi, that's Grand Rapids, that's fine, because I consider those hometown shows, even though they're a couple hours from me in some places.
Yeah.
But if you tell me, hey, run down to Chicago, go to New York, I'm like,
Well, I think they've already shut. The Carnival has already canceled all their cruises.
Yeah.
And they're asking you not to fly. They're telling you not to fly to Europe. They're not taking flights in from Europe or out to Europe at the moment, unless it's a emergency or over to England. I wouldn't be too surprised if the next step is to just like at 9/11 to stop all air traffic
Well,
altogether.
Plane tickets are cheap right now. They're
Oh
ridiculously
yeah,
cheap.
heck yeah! But you're in a can where
Yeah.
you're literally circulating air.
Yeah.
So, and they're just now figuring out that this is an airborne thing and can stick in the one paper I read this morning said that it can linger in the air for up to 30 days. So, it could be problematic
It
for
will
the
be-
airlines to even be running right now.
Which means that anybody can get it. I'm surprised. I mean, I know I'm usually the one that goes into the gutter on this show, but I'm telling you right now, Comic Cons are getting hit hard. Imagine the strip club; it's gonna get hit real hard.
Extra hard. Yeah. Not just that, but the thing I woke up on this morning is imagine us all hunkered down in our houses and suddenly there's a EMP
Yeah.
from the sun overreacts or sends us a flare, and there goes all the electronic communications. Then things are really going to get interesting.
Rob says, "I am doing an online con to keep people positive and show this isn't the end, just a bump in the road." Yeah, I mean, look, until the dead start rising, I think we'll see our way through this. But I do believe we should do like Italy and suspend mortgage payments. That'd be nice. That'd be real nice.
That's probably coming. It's just that we're dealing with a governmental structure that doesn't want to, doesn't want to agree with the other side, and it's pretty even between political parties. It's a problem of only having two parties.
I'm just saying.
And two, it's a political structure that really doesn't want to help the middle class out a whole lot.
I'm just saying they need to make sure.
That's my opinion.
They need to make sure they do it within the next 3 days. My mortgage is due in 3 days.
I can't see
So,
that happening.
Yeah, they
You're
need to,
gonna
if they're gonna
be
do
able
it,
to cover that payment.
if they're gonna do it, they need to do it.
Pay the bills.
Ralph says, "I see they shut down the stock market."
Did they really? They shut down the stock market today again? That's
And then-
probably because the stocks were in free fall. When the president comes out and says that, "Hey, everybody, we're in the shit," the market's going to take a hit.
Dave says, "Troy schools cancel my winter teaching classes this far in advance."
Wow.
Oh, that's
Yeah. Well, I got a teaching gig that starts up next Wednesday that I might not have either. So we'll see how it goes.
and then Rob's post went 3 times for some reason. And then
He likes repeating himself.
down 2,000 points right now today says.
Yeah. Well,
Rob.
they would have stopped it. Yeah. Yeah. They've stopped trading them.
Rob, what day is that the online con so we can get the word out
Isn't
to
that-
our listeners?
Doesn't that start Saturday?
I think it starts Saturday, but I wanted him to put in this so I can make sure I give the verbatim information. That way, if I'm wrong, I can blame him.
Rob, can you come in? We put the link up.
Yeah, the link is in the chat if anybody wants to come in. We are opening up the lines to you to come in, and I will post it one more time for those who may have missed it.
As long as we like you.
Yeah,
Standard and if standards and practices permit it, we'll have it.
yeah.
Where's our pal from Rebel Comics? He hasn't been here the last couple of
Oh, he's too busy. Never mind.
he's too busy scrambling.
Yeah, yes. Is that what they call it now? That's what the young kids are calling it?
Oh, is that no. That's not what the young kids are calling it now. I think what the young kids call it starts with an F, but that's
Ah,
all.
okay. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if I don't know, man. I think I know my company's in a good position to last throughout this.
We're all going to
Pandemic
start
now?
crowdfunding campaigns now because we've all had to stay indoors for a month.
Oh, imagine how many
That's
cool
what's gonna
comics you're
happen
gonna get
next.
now.
Boom.
Imagine
Hey,
how much
I had
cool
nothing
stuff.
to do for 2
Yeah.
months, so guess what? Here's a book.
Yeah. How much cool stuff we're gonna have now? Yeah, I couldn't do it
More
in
like
2
6
months.
months. More like 6 months.
Yeah, I couldn't get out the house. Had to order everything. Gonna be rough.
I got a
very
stack though. I'm stocked up. I got a milk crate right back there that's got stuff in it that I need to read. Plus another table up next to my big easy chair up in the living room. It's got books.
I used
So
to keep.
I got stuff.
I used to
your
keep books
book's
in the
on there.
bathroom. Yeah, I used to keep.
Slugfest is on there.
Is it? Okay. And see, I can look forward to you calling me being triggered by that book if he got something wrong.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and we can go through and just highlight it, and then I can do an entire video about it. So
Yeah.
I was tempted. There was a guy up. I don't want to endorse his site, so I won't say that had a video up there talking about the original Captain Marvel being racist,
Mm.
and that triggered me pretty hard. Not only did I get on the Facebook post, but I went up. I dug him up on YouTube and posted a comment telling him how absolutely absurd and stupid this was, and how factually inaccurate it was. He even called Mary Marvel Miss Marvel, and I'm like, dude, do some research. I told him to get off his high horse and get an education.
Thank you, Germany. I'm sorry, Germany right now.
Oh, you're all right. I'm just
Sorry, United Kingdom, France, and Honduras.
Honduras.
Yes,
Yes,
Honduras.
fantastic. We still need to do that international comic show I keep talking about.
Yeah, it's just it's weird having them. They people don't want to reach out. I think they're afraid of us.
So we'd have
Also,
all these countries laughing at our stupidity about their product their characters that they love.
yeah, what a great time to catch up
That's
on the
not what
comic
that meant at
reading.
all.
Yeah,
Yeah, catch up on your comic reading.
yeah. We don't have.
It's time to dig through those old long boxes and relive some really good memories. Staying happy doesn't hurt either.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sorry. I looked on Twitter and everything's Corona, COVID-19.
Corona with a lime. Yes.
Yeah,
It's a good time to go out and help Corona as much as you can. Buy a 6 or an 8 and or a case and sit there and drink with a little bit of lime and help that company out. Lord knows their stock probably took a hell of a hit. that whole product line's probably in the toilet.
it's like that company that came out right when the AIDS epidemic hit. AIDS.
No, AIDS was around for quite a while before they called that
Well, yeah.
at that. But that's why they're. I'm sure they yelled at the media. That's why they're using COVID-19 as much as they possibly can.
Yeah.
And they're trying not to call it the coronavirus. Plus, we have a local town here just west of us called Corona that's almost spelt the same way. I was wondering if anybody's been poking fun at that lately.
Like, nah,
Run
we're
around
just,
Corona. Hey, we got the coronavirus.
Make sure to buy your TP and Lysol if you can find it. So they
You can't
say.
find, but you can make your own.
As I heard, they shut down the NBA also until who
Get
knows
some
when.
good
Yep.
rubbing alcohol. It's all good.
Yeah. Yeah.
That stuff's still cheap. Last time I looked.
Yeah.
They shut down the NBA also. Yep. That's true. Everything's starting to come to a standstill, and you're gonna see more of it as it goes on. This weekend ought to be real interesting for announcements and stuff. But we'll be back here on Tuesday night at 9 p.m. unless something big and drastic happens, and then we may cut in at any
Yeah.
time.
I'm
With
sorry.
a special iNDIEVOLT radio edition. The NHL has no idea what they're going to do, Rob. Yeah. But they're also towards the tail end of their season, if I'm not mistaken. So, a lot of the, like March Madness, is just going to play to empty stadiums because they have TV deals.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they know the majority of the, they can always fake crowd noises.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have a couple of little kids in the crowd.
We know
That would
good
actually
and
be
well
funny.
WWE has done that before.
Yeah.
They pipe that fake crowd noise in, and you're like, "Oh, listen to that crowd." It's so
No,
it's so,
Ralph, they're not putting March Madness on hold. They're just going to run it in empty stadiums. That's all.
yeah. Yeah. So
Because
and listen,
the
it was
TV,
sort
the
of,
TV deal, there's going to be more people at home begging to see that stuff on television.
I would say don't
than
worry
ever
about it.
before.
The NBA games or even the college basketball games in the empty arenas, those players are prepared to deal with it. The WNBA players deal with it all the time. Everything will be fine. I'm gonna get some hate mail for that one. This is direct RM email to Rob Anderson.
I hate Rob at INDIEVOLT.com.
I hate Rob at INDIEVOLT.com says that the women players play in empty arenas all the time. This will be no
Is that what he
different.
said? Is that on the?
No,
you just
no,
made
no.
that up.
I'm
You just made
sticking.
that
Yeah,
up.
I'm sticking words in Rob's mouth. But it is unfortunate that I've seen that online. People have said that, and I'm like, I'm not that clever to come up with that myself. But
How dare you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Randy, which convention canceling would be for you? Like, that's
Mine,
it.
mine,
Yeah, that's it. Yours.
mine. The one in Flint, the one in Saginaw. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm
What-
waiting. I'm waiting for those calls, and I've been telling everybody I'm not going to stop the show unless the market closes down. So if the market
Yeah,
decides that they need to close, I won't have a choice. But in the
yeah,
meantime,
Ralph,
the show must go on.
WWE does have an event this coming week. It's supposed to be Friday. Me and the wife are going to go down, but then we decided we're not going to because we just won't. We just
Yeah.
won't. Yeah, I think. Well, first of all, Randy, I know they'll have to drag you kicking and screaming, to shut down your event. But you're at the mercy of what the market says, and then you guys are at the mercy of what Flint says.
Yep.
I don't see that show closing down. I
Well,
don't see you show.
if it's left up to Flint City Council, it'll still go on.
Yeah, yeah, they let water go through. Yeah, so they didn't.
We have a city council guy that's actually been banned from the meetings for a while because he's, anyway, that's a whole
Yeah.
other Flint City politics, real soap opera. Anyway, it's all good.
I would imagine that now you guys. I mean, everybody who's doing the show has got to be a little nervous. I mean, we've got something planned for IndieVolt coming up here, and I'm a little nervous. I haven't signed any.
Yeah, you might want to wait for a bit.
Yeah, I haven't signed any documents yet, but I am. I've been in touch, and I'm like, hey, is this going to be an issue? And I've been assured it wouldn't be, but we're kind of waiting to see what happens.
The event you have planned goes over that 100 limit too. So
Yeah. The event I have goes over, so
it's not really a limit; it's just a recommendation. But it still makes me mad. She should have just said large groups instead of giving a number definition.
yeah.
Just another guffaw in a long line of guffaws from our wonderful governor.
100 people or groups of 100 people. I mean, the only thing that's safe to go to is
I don't know where she got that number. Even California has it at 250, but that's another story.
yeah. I mean, there's
Grumble,
100 people.
grumble, 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 grumble. Anyway,
There's 100 people in the supermarket. That damn Kroger
what
right
else
by
is
my
going
house is
on? What
full.
else is going on?
So let's bring up one other thing too. I want to talk about, and this is one of the questions of Indie Vote Radio. This person wants to know
Since people are too scared to join us today.
why so many damn late in crowdfunded comics. Do these people have no idea of scheduling?
Listen, go ahead. I want to step on what you wanted to say.
These people do have an idea of scheduling, but life happens. Most of them have an idea of scheduling. Some don't. 50-50. And I think it happens. I think the problem that happens is that you end up getting life happens, and then you have shipping delays. You have if you're printing or you're you have an artist that does something. I know people who make dumb decisions like, hey, I love you, artist. You're my special friend. Here's,
Anthony in the
$2,000.
house.
Here's, yep, there's Anthony Figueroa in the house. How's it going?
Hey.
You give an artist $2,000 and tell him draw my book. Let me tell you what he's gonna do. He's gonna be like, sweet. I'm gonna start drawing it. He may start drawing it, and then that $2,000 will start burn a hole in his pocket.
Well, again, the big thing that folks have to remember, I hope that we keep saying this over and over again. We just have to keep reminding them. A lot of these guys do comics for a living. They sit there and they draw all day. That's what they do. They pencil, they ink, they write, or whatever. Crowdfunding comes along, and suddenly they have to run the whole ship themselves. They have to figure out how to print it, how to prepare it for printing, how to what to expect from their printer, how to ship it, how much shipping is, because a lot of times they're throwing a dart at the dartboard when it comes to so-and-so charge such and such for shipping. That's all I'm going to charge. It'll be good. And a lot of these guys are getting into it for the first time. And if you haven't done your research, you're going to get into trouble. And plus, a lot of these guys aren't expecting the IRS to come knocking on their door and say, hey, guess what? That's earned income, dude. You owe us our taste. So you have to consider the fact that a lot of these crowdfunding campaigns, it's the first time out. And there are still, I know this for a fact, there are still some really established crowdfunders out there that are 2 or 3 campaigns behind because they're constantly chasing their tail, robbing from Peter to pay for Paul. Their third, like Marcel, I think is accused of doing this. The 3 crowdfundings up, they're using that money in order to fund and get the first one out. And they still have, one in limbo and one still yet to produce. That's happening a lot. And plus, you've got a lot of artists. A lot of these crowdfunding guys get out there, their artwork is actually seen, some of it for the first, second time that they've been out, or they've always been taken for granted at the mainstream, and suddenly they've got commission work like a nut. And they're not going to turn that money down because they don't want to spend the crowdfunding money in order to live on. So then they're doing 3 commissions plus trying to finish their book, plus, trying to learn how to do and be a publishing company. And it is not easy. You and I both know that. We've done a lot of self-publishing in the past. It's not easy to have and to produce, to print, to ship a product on your own. And you have to learn how to do it. There needs to be somebody out there running, not really interference, but counseling these people about what's going on. And it's there. You just have to be out there and listen to these different podcasts about the troubles that some of these guys have run into so that you know better. You have to do your research before you do your crowdfunding campaign so that you're there and you can line your ducks up in a row to avoid any type of pitfall that somebody else has hit. And we've seen some pretty wonderful mistakes done with crowdfunding campaigns in this last year. A lot of examples on what not to do. But at the same time, there's 2 or 3 people out there, once they get it up, once they get it rolling, once they get their book up, excuse me, and get products rolling, that they become regular machines, like Chaos Coffin Comics, like Splatto Comics. They are running machines, ka-chunk, 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 because they figured out what they had to do, and they figured out how to do it, and now they're doing it every 3 months. Boom, 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 boom. Here's a product. Here's a product. Here's a product. And you just have to be a little empathetic with these guys that are behind on their schedules, that they're going to figure out what to do and get it out. Either that, or they're going to get yelled at, and then there's class action lawsuits and who knows what else.
Yeah, I think that you should keep in mind that at some point, I just realized too a couple of days ago, I was on the show, that there's products that I have not got yet, and so I'm going to be reaching out to some of those people and asking them, hey, where's my product? But where's my book? Ralph says
I'm paying attention more to the talent that's out there,
Ralph,
especially people that owe us product or that owe me product.
Ralph says you should have the book done or mostly done before you put it up there. Silly rabbits.
Exactly. But again, Ralph, you got a lot of printing experience. You know all about this stuff.
Anthony says, I see Randy still alive and kicking. I'm not worried until I see Randy worried. And Ralph says, right, Anthony. Yeah. You have to catch Randy worried about like 3 o'clock in the morning. And I send Randy articles to trigger him. So,
Yeah, he does that on purpose. Hey, what do you think of this? Oh, thanks. I'm not getting any sleep, man. Or he'll wait until he knows I'm just about to go to sleep to send me the grossest picture he can find.
Yeah.
What do you think about this? I think I'm not going to sleep. All right, I think I'm going to have some pretty weird dreams tonight.
It's
That's the way that works.
If you're not,
I just try to stay informed. That's all. I'm naturally curious about the world, and I gab too much.
He's
That's the way it works.
Traco does it too. Traco sends triggering articles too.
Yeah, Traco's like me. He goes around and looks at stuff. So.
Yeah. Do you think that Randy, if you have a book out there, how late is too late?
How late is too late? Too late is too late.
Too late is too late.
1 month is too late. You promise something for August, it better be out there in August. You promise something for, and I'm using that as an example of somebody that owes me a damn book. Come on. Anyway, because I really want to read these books. Mm-hmm. You make a promise to these people, and you need to get it done. And if you can't get it done, then you need to be transparent and say, hey, my first book Didn't anticipate this. This has happened. And you need to not just be, out on other people's podcasts, but you need to keep people informed on your crowdfunding page
Yeah.
and up to date, and assume that that's where they're going to get their information.
Yeah, they're not gonna comb through your YouTube video.
You,
They want to be informed on that page, and let that page work for you, because that page
that's what
will
it's there for.
email all of your supporters and backers, and they say, "Hey, there's a new update."
Yep.
But if you I put it in a YouTube video, they don't want to watch your YouTube videos.
And there's some people I'm no longer endorsing that I get angry because I keep getting their updates. I have to go, oh, that's spam.
Yeah,
But it's the way it is. I'd much rather have that happen. You can't keep your people informed enough
Yeah.
at this point. And it doesn't mean that you have to go, well, I woke up and I'm breathing today, so I guess I'm going to do some work. You need to go, progress is coming along. Everything is inked. Everything is, it's all at the printer. It's coming out of the printer such and such a date. It's going to be, shipped. And do your best to work on this content. That's my recommendation, especially right now, because you don't know if you ship a book out to who knows what, if you're going to get those back at this point. So make sure you shop around, do your research, get to know what you're doing before you take any big leaps, or you're going to have stuff sitting on a cargo bin at a customs somewhere, worried that if they open the bin door that they're going to get bombarded by virus. So
yeah,
to like to have your stuff stalled 30 days just because, and then they have to open the door slowly and spray it all down. So it all, anyway.
yeah.
No, work as close to home as you possibly can to get the best deal that you possibly can. And believe me, there's probably people out there right now that are willing to work some really good deals because of this paranoia that's running around. So
Yeah, I just found that I was looking through an email of an item that I have coming, and they're saying that said the outbreak in China over yet? Not yet. But it has gotten way better in China thanks to the doctors and other medical staff, as well as citizens who stayed in quarantine to keep the virus from spreading. In China, we have 80,000 people infected, but over 61,000 have recovered. But there are still 16,215 people who are still sick. Hopefully, they will get well soon.
that's a weird exact number.
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully, they will get well soon. Hopefully, the rest of the world
Anyway,
will get over this too. As always, if you're interested,
I'm doing much better now. It was
as
only a flesh
always,
wound.
if you're interested, please check out the WHO website for the newest virus update. World Health Organization.
was just a cold.
Then they talk about how many people are working there, who's safe. They said they're actually back in the offices on starting March 12th, which is, they're in China, so it was. I think
That's today, by the way.
Yeah,
Having to go back to work on a Thursday.
Yeah, they posted it 10 hours ago, but I think, is it Japan or China that's ahead of us by one day?
Both of them.
Yeah, so they're both ahead of us.
Both
So
of them
that was,
I think, are way ahead of us. So.
yeah. So, yeah.
I know England's 6 hours, I think, ahead of us.
Yeah. So weird. They
3
go
hours ahead.
on. They go on to say, we are also informed that today NBA suspends season because Utah Jazz player tests positive for COVID-19, and the famous celebrities like Juventus player, I don't know who that is, Hollywood actor also infected. So to all our backers and their families, be safe and healthy. Yeah, I don't know what a Juventus
Well,
player
you
is.
also don't need to make your updates full of BS either. You need to be direct to the point and transparent. So.
Yeah.
Hey, I heard Tom Hanks just got this thing. Hey, that might make us a little late.
Rebel says I am canceling INDIEVOLT. Yeah, you should.
He can try.
Yeah, did we say something? Yeah, we.
He's got to get it canceled first.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was rough. Sorry. That was me. I didn't really mean.
He's in Canada, where apparently he's all the way up there. There's no COVID-19s up there
Cancel culture with a capital C.
yet. Yeah, he's got to deal with cancel culture, not what you call it. No tis in your title. No tis in your title. I don't know. Was it?
Tis.
Yeah.
iNDIEVOLT
Everything
no,
is
Itis?
everything is canceled. Yeah.
Everything's canceled?
Oh yeah, everything. Yeah, I said everything is canceled. Oh, we got one in our city now. He says. Oh, they got one in Canada, huh?
Oh, your local con canceled? Let them know. Let them know it's because they didn't have you there.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
That's what they get.
You
It's
got to learn to
silly
spin this
committee.
thing. You
Yeah.
got to spin this thing. Well,
Yeah, spin it in your favor.
the con was canceled. That's why I was planning on being there. I really was. I was gonna be there,
Big
but
headline on your site. I won.
yeah.
I'd be there if they asked me. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we got the itis.
They got they got a
They got
virus
the
up
virus.
there. Yeah. They got a virus up there.
It's the same virus.
They're still running the con for now. They're still running the con.
For
Will
now,
it start
yeah.
tomorrow?
Yeah.
Watch someone will say, "I got sick at the show.
Yeah.
I'm sick," and then every con will be like, "Oh my goodness, we have to cancel everything. Every celebrity is gonna get sick. We gotta send them back home." Last thing we know, look what happened to that national treasure. Like I said, Tom Hanks. He is now sick at home, or sick in Australia with his
He's
wife.
in Australia, but he's doing fine.
Yeah.
He's not that sick. He's just came out positive.
Got a Utah Jazz player they said that's tested. I didn't read that. I just knew the NBA.
Is that the guy that was going around high fiving everybody like the day before?
That'd be messed
At
up.
the- no, that's what happened.
Yeah.
One of them did. That's how much. I don't pay much attention to sports. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But somebody was going around high fiving everybody and then come out positive the next day.
What's wrong with you? I've got
That's
the,
what they're saying.
I've got the.
Hope you got some Perel.
I've got the COVID.
High five. High five. High five. Do a lot of elbow bumps. That's what it is. Or a lot of shoe bumps.
I'd be afraid of that now. I'm afraid of bumping anything with anybody.
Right.
It's gonna really mess
You
up some.
know, I'll start doing involved body slams. Chest bump, butt bump.
This is going to really,
Foot
really
bump.
affect some
Knee
people's
bump.
after Comic-Con activities. Imagine they got to check
Well,
off.
maybe it should.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe it'll make everybody think twice.
Imagine.
You don't
Okay,
really love me, do you?
So let me see.
You're just saying that. What do you mean you're in trouble with you're having trouble in your marriage right now?
We're gonna look.
You have an
list.
open relationship. Open this.
Let me look through this list here. Okay, girl. So I've checked. I don't have any of this disease and this disease. Have you been tested for corona?
I tested corona as long as you got a slice of lime.
Yeah. Corona's what got me here.
Yeah.
I want out. This relationship is over. Yeah, I would be out. Those after parties, all those sweaty Pikachu cosplayers sweating all over you, dancing and gyrating and twerking. Can't have that anymore. That's coronavirus out there on you. Wake up next morning sick.
I have people listening over on Facebook.
Mm.
Sharon and Stacy and Andrea and Alexandria. Hey, thanks for listening in.
I'm sick. And the cool thing about it is we don't have to be here. We don't have to go anywhere. We can do this show from home. So Indie will always be here for you.
We can be in your ear 24/7 if we want.
Yeah. Yeah. Larry, have you been tested yet for COVID-19?
Oh, dude, those tests are so backlogged now, and they're having a hard time getting the tests out to people fast enough.
By the time you found out you have it, you're cured.
When you're stuck in the house for 2 weeks, we'll be here.
If you test positive, does it burn itself out inside you? Are you more immune after you have it, or just a regular thing like a seasonal cold or regular flu?
I honestly do not know, but I would imagine if it's a virus like they're saying, that once you chase it off, you've built up a resistance to it. But I am not positive. I'm in no way a doctor, and I haven't read that anywhere. So that's just my conjecture. Hopefully that's what it is. Hopefully that's why they're telling you to sequester yourself for 2 weeks, so you'll get past it and not pass it off to anybody.
And TV Guide is asking, is San Diego Comic-Con 2020 canceled due to the coronavirus? And,
Ooh, what?
Obviously, TV Guide they have an
Oh.
article up about the coronavirus and San Diego Comic-Con.
Because they are hip to all things Comic-Con.
Yeah. They posted, Comic-Con is working with local officials as it pertains to the COVID-19 situation. They popped a big ass ad up in my face. 1 second. Okay. Situation and continues to monitor developments closely. At this time, both shows, WonderCon Anaheim and Comic-Con in San Diego, are moving forward as scheduled. As always, the safety and security of all our attendees is of utmost importance. Please rest assured that these concerns are being taken very seriously, and we will not make any decisions regarding the rescheduling of shows without weighing all considerations carefully, CCI officials said in a statement. Yeah.
Or in other words, no, we're still going on, and we ain't shutting down till we have to. When we have to, we'll let you know.
Yeah.
That's you just read 5 minutes of the same thing.
Yeah.
5 minutes of 2 sentences.
Well,
It's nice that they're transparent though, and that they recognize that there's a problem. That's a lot more than some other companies have done
Yeah.
about other things.
Dorothy says, I got a show in May. No, you don't. Just kidding.
You sure you've got a show?
Yeah. You may have a show in May. There's a slight
You
chance.
may, or
What
you
show
may
is it?
not have a show in May. If it's there hasn't been any word that I know of out of Motor City yet either.
Is it in?
This is
it
still
MegaCon?
relatively new to Michigan. So
If it's MegaCon in Florida, you might have it because Florida hasn't gotten too bad yet. But you got a lot
besides,
of
Rob might not
people.
let them shut down.
Yeah.
He's down there. And he's keeping them all under a tight rein.
and two in July. Yeah, you're in a warmer state, Dorothy, so you might be able to get
One
away with
step
it.
at a time.
Yeah,
That's all we can do.
Florida SuperCon in May. That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just
SuperCon.
just make sure you keep those keep your eye on those shows. And of course, IndieVolt, we'll always tell everybody what shows we hear they can. If a show cancels, we'll keep people up to date on what show canceled. And Randy, is it from IndieVolt Radio? This is from Hector. Hector wants to know.
Hey,
I think we've answered this question. We've asked the question already, but canceling or postponing seems a lot worse because scheduling. What do you do? Do you cancel or do you postpone at this point?
If I were running a big 2-day show, and you had to push it back or cancel, quite frankly I would cancel for a year. That's what I would do. I'd say we're very sorry, we're not going to have it this year. We will have it next year, and make sure that your date is secure for next year. And because if you do reschedule now, if you push it back 3 or 4 months, just like what Mark's worried about from Grand Rapids Con, you're going to butt into another con, more than likely, or you're going to add so much confusion to your date that you won't have nearly the attendance that you would have at your current show. A lot of it ties back to marketing and branding. And if it's a 2-day show, if it's a little 1-day show in a city or a town, then pushing it back 3 or 4 months, and again, you have to be careful not to bump into another bigger show's dates, and that's going to be really rough come the fall. I think it's going to be twice as bad than it was before. But if you were running a regular show that people were always there, like San Diego or Motor City or Grand Rapids, I think personally that you'd be better off just saying we're not going to have it this year due to the problems. We will be back in force next year on the same weekend, and we appreciate your business, because I think people would appreciate you more stepping out than trying to reschedule.
Mark says postpone and reschedule, and Mark. And this goes out to you too, Mark and Randy, and everybody in the chat can weigh in on this too. How important is it that postpone announcement and that reschedule announcement? How important is it that they be close together? Do you want them close together, or do you want to postpone first and then announce the rescheduling?
Especially with Grand Rapids Con being on so close to the edge of winter.
Mm-hmm.
I would find that problematic. You'd have to come back in April almost. In order to be in a good enough weather pattern to be dependable or remotely dependable. Where would Grand Rapids is usually in October, November, so that would be problematic in and of itself.
Sorry.
It's all right. You're belching on the air. Here, I'm hitting my cough button every time you're here belching on the air. Anyway.
There we go. There we go. Oh.
Type. Anyway, sorry for the pregnant pause, everyone on INDIEVOLT Radio. But,
Yeah, sorry,
there
I had
he is
to.
typing.
Yeah, I had to type. I was trying to send an invite out, and
He's sending an
people-
STFU out to somebody.
yeah, the frequency of my typing lets you know how important the message was. Yeah, it's normally if it's very quick, it's normally angry. What the hell's? Yeah, I think getting that for me getting that. Hey, sorry, we've postponed the event. It will take place in, at least give somebody an idea of when they're gonna get that reschedule notice. Maybe March or whatever. Well, it's March right now, so if you can postpone the show now,
Trico.
yeah.
I had a history event next weekend that said yesterday, don't worry, we're not canceling. Then today it's like, the governor says we have to cancel.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I should be quiet too and check with the market.
Yeah.
So I might already be in trouble.
Grand Rapids says, I don't have much of an answer to that, to be honest. I am in a very busy building, and it will depend on their schedule.
Yeah.
Hey, you're in a big event
Hope
center.
for the best.
Yeah, Ralph says smaller lines at the
Lines
buffet.
at the buffet.
Yes. And joining us is Mr.
It'll be easy to go see a movie. If you want to be as far away from somebody coughing.
Yeah,
yeah, there you get.
Well, you want to stay away from the crowd movies. So the best movies to go see are Birds of Prey, Charlie's Angels. You want to stay away from movies with, fan bases.
I understand Onward right now is the movie to go see.
Oh, look, you might as well just cancel 2020, right? That's what it is, right?
Yeah.
Like E3, like one of the largest, gaming shows on the planet is now canceled.
Yeah.
All these cons are starting to drop off like flies. People are even scared now to go to anything that's considered to be a large gathering. I mean, hell, if I was living in New York City, I don't think I would walk into a movie theater for 3 hours with a bunch of people. You know what I mean? Like,
got that COVID.
Yeah.
I also want to know too, is it safe to go to a hotel at this point?
well, I work in a hotel, and that's kind of the problem is, we get travelers from all over, right?
Mm-hmm.
They get to the airport, and then they're looking for a place to stay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But the biggest danger is money. So when you're handling cash, because you don't know where that cash has been, you don't know whose hand that cash has been in, right?
Whose G-string it's been down. Yeah.
So I mean, fuck, do you got to wear latex gloves when handling money, or do you just got to go straight debit? Like, how's this going to work?
I'm sure you're going to see that too.
Yeah.
Did you see the meme? I think I posted it on my timeline yesterday that had the guy with big wide eyes. It was on a selfie on a plane, and sitting up against the window was a guy that had a big respirator on. He was fully covered and even had goggles on. And he's sitting there going, good Lord, I'm sitting next to Snake Eyes from G.I. Joe.
Well, here's the thing. Ice-T had, Ice-T, right? Gangster rapper Ice-T. He made a post on his Twitter the other day. He said, damn it, man. He said, I was in a room full of people and someone coughed. It was like someone pulled a fucking gun.
It is.
Yeah. Yep.
I have an older relative that is not, they cough and they sneeze without covering their mouth. And I'm like, will you stop it?
Now, I want you to picture this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say I'm walking through the mall and I bring Miss Vicky Kim with me, who is Asian.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What happens when Vicky coughs?
She's got it. She's got it. Poor Vicky. I'm sorry, Vicky.
She's in bed right now. Yeah. I mean, and we went to the hospital yesterday, right? I had to have my x-rays for my kidney stones and stuff. Mm-hmm. And Vicky's talking with the nurse. She says, oh, don't worry, I don't have coronavirus. Just right out of the blue like that. Fuck, no one was asking.
I was down at U of M last week, and they had a list that they asked you. Have you had this? Have you been sick? Have you done this? Have you been over to China? Have you been, wherever? And they still checked my temperature before they gave me a pass to get in.
Yeah, man, I was in Wuhan last week, fuckers. Like, come on.
So they're already. I mean, they were cautious 2 weeks ago. So, you know.
Well, look, now you have your government, and I imagine all governments are going to start, implementing these travel bans. I think Donald Trump has travel ban 28 European countries that you cannot go to, right now for the month. Mm-hmm. And my God, I don't know why everyone's just like canceling things for the month. It's like, for the month of March, we're not going to do anything. Dudes, this is going to go on through April. This is going to go on through May, and it's only going to get worse before it gets better. So I would just cancel everything for the year. I would just say all large gatherings in 2020 are over.
The CDC come out yesterday and said, I think it's a pandemic. I think you can use that word now.
I think it's fair to say
that's what threw everybody into the panic. So.
We
had our first cases here in Michigan that they announced conveniently right after our primary election. So.
Yeah.
Well, did you guys buy your toilet paper yet?
Oh yeah.
Oh, our shelves are empty already.
Yeah.
But they were empty. They were empty about a week ago.
I got extras.
They're still stashing. Mm-hmm. They go as soon as they're stocked.
I want to be like the guy that does like black market toilet paper sales. So you need some toilet paper. Your stores ran out. Okay, come back here, back of the shed.
Well, like
$5 a roll.
There was a fast food place that has it locked and chained in their bathrooms. Now you can get to the roll. You just can't take it with you.
Yeah.
Right. I just need 3 squares, man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Question from iNDIEVOLT Radio. Why don't you guys take some of your comics to local hospitals and give them away to children who are sick? That's a good idea. I don't know if I make any comics that are kids safe.
Done that before with Flint Comics. I've dropped a big box off at the local shelter. Mm-hmm. Not the shelter, but there's like a battered women's family house.
Mm-hmm.
There.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
I dropped off a huge box of them.
Like I got a bunch of like old comic books that they're just reader copies, like old Spider-Man and stuff. They're never going to be worth a dime, right? Could easily drop those off at the local hospital. I just don't know if they'll accept them at this point in time. Like again, it's like handling money. You don't know where that particular item has been, who's had it, who's coughed on it. You know what I mean? Like,
I can't. I can't figure out if they're gonna. Well, I mean, I've had people bring me stuff before. I want to take stuff and they wouldn't take it. People would not take it. I know we can't take that just because you have to go to all these different channels to turn stuff in and donate stuff.
So there's Mark says there's a guy on Amazon that sold a 24-pack for almost $2,000. Believe it or not.
Yeah.
I think Amazon and eBay have both put a stop to that kind of practice. So.
Hey.
I think they did that yesterday.
When you got to wipe, you got to wipe.
Said that they won't take care of it. Well, there's plenty of and this is what happens when you're in the digital age. You're going to run into that problem where before, all you needed was a bad publication that you can spare.
Don't you dare! he was looking around for it. I knew he couldn't find it.
I was looking for it. It's here somewhere. I've been in the middle of so many things. Oh, here it is. There's always a book. There's always a book that you don't need anymore that you can roll up and throw up.
I was gonna make a comment about newsprint comics, but Randy went there. So,
some newsprint comics.
Well, no, it's funny how toilet paper is the first thing to sell out. You think that water might be more fucking important? I don't know.
There's always bidets, yeah.
He says, yes, they have. Yeah, they have shut down a lot of those practices. I got a roll of Marvel Comics toilet paper that I paid for.
Last resort.
It'll be a last resort. Because it's got a comic on it.
Don't wipe your ass with Kirby.
It's Spider-Man. It's got a comic on it.
Yeah.
So you can read it, and I'm like, I'm never using this. I got it in a box. I'm never using this, but
it's just that now so many people are digital. They don't have those physical books that they can tear into if they have to. But then again, you have a chance of really plugging up your septic system too if your paper's not quickly dissolvable. So if you do that, make sure you have a good plunger. Don't use a lot of it. Make sure you know. That's what the old outhouses used to do. That's why the Sears catalog used to be so important.
That and other things. The lingerie section. Never mind. Yeah.
Oh.
Well, there were certain sections of the catalog that were the last ones to go.
Yeah.
That's all.
Your wife thought you were being consider it. Oh, he left me the lingerie section to look at. No, I left me the lingerie section to look
Yes,
at.
I did. Yes,
Yeah,
I did.
yeah.
Yes, I did.
Um,
Only because I love you.
yeah. There's a now you've
Can
been
always
in.
use business cards too.
Oh, those can get up there and chip and chap and cut.
Oh,
I don't know.
You talk like one who knows.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you have enough people tell you where you can put your business card.
Yeah.
You take that business card and shove it up your. Anyway.
Larry, can I announce that you? Can I announce something I know about Niobe? Can I announce?
Yeah, man.
Um,
Give her.
Niobe just is Niobe is at print. It's printing right now, right?
It's Comics Wellspring. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I did my submission to them. I paid my like $1,200
So it is printing.
Canadian.
Canadian, which is probably about 86 cents American. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. It's printing, so those backers who back that book can expect to see it very soon.
Yeah, probably in about 3 or 4 weeks, however long it takes them to print it and ship it, assuming that it doesn't get stopped at the border. And
I was going to say it's not too difficult to ship across the border between U.S. and Canada.
no, but with the whole virus scare now, I've had like one package I've ordered that they just said no, customs won't put it through. You know what I mean? Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think it's because it was something that was like fucking made in China. So there's
Yeah.
like paranoia when it comes to not only just being able to cross the border and travel, but as also when it comes to shipping items.
That's why it's really important to get as much actual information out there as opposed to feeding this paranoia.
Yeah,
Well, like anyone that's dealing with Print Ninja right now, I feel bad for you.
Yeah, we had somebody pop that up yesterday. Are they? I take it they're printed in China.
Yeah, Print Ninja is located in China.
yeah,
Well,
yeah, and
that's
you're
that's kind of a well, never mind. I was going to say it's kind of a shame on you in the first place, but again, that's my opinion.
yeah, it's printed in China, and all those books are sitting there. A lot of companies who print in China, and now since America's getting scared, now it's even worse because now China was just not shipping. Now America might not be accepting.
Yeah.
And so now what you like. I got an email that products I was waiting on wouldn't start moving till late April. Optimistically, I can probably double that.
Yeah.
That was optimistic from China.
Yeah.
I can probably double that now because now America's
That's
like,
just
oh no,
out of China. That's not from America to you.
yeah. They're probably like, oh no, you'll see your shit in December, sir.
Because it more than likely they're going to have it. They're going to let it sit at the dock for 30 days if the science is right before they open it. So they'll let that shipping container sit for a while just to stew and catch some heat.
Yeah. Now it's odd to me. Now Detroit did something. I don't know if any other people know about this, but Detroit did something where the city went in and turned back on all the water. So if your water was turned off for non-payment, you got your water back. To help combat the virus, and I guess they're going to keep a plan up now where it's going to be $20 a month or something like that. But here's the other problem: whenever they can't
all that does is kick the can, your water bill can down the road a little bit, which I'm sure a lot of people would appreciate if their job is affected by by a virus cancellation.
Right. But the other thing is now, I said water pressure probably dropped really big in Detroit neighborhoods. But the other thing is, okay, water is great, terrific, but you're gonna need hot water. So a warm water, you guys are gonna have to keep people's heat, electricity on too.
Well, I'm sure they're working on that too.
Yeah, I mean, while we're in a state of emergency, sorry, you got to do it.
Well, the electric utilities like to work with people during the winter anyway.
Yeah,
They don't want to. The last thing that they need is the publicity of shutting somebody's house off and finding them frozen,
yeah,
and dead in their house. That doesn't do good for the utility company.
no.
So we had one of those. We had one of those up here. But,
Yeah.
the utility company went out of their way to say that if they had just contacted them, that they would have made sure that the electricity kept on. The guy was a recluse.
Yeah, they found a mother and
didn't
son.
never left his house, never called anybody.
They found both an elderly mother and son because they were both older in their house, frozen over the winter, in Detroit, because of they had no electricity. The house was pretty much just not a shack. It was a nice looking house, but no water, no lights, no heat, and they froze to death overnight. But they were wrapped up very well. But I guess the cold just got to them. It got too cold that night.
Which is it had to have been one of those oddball days because we haven't had a whole lot of cold days up here.
Yeah, it was one of those.
Michigan's been real lucky this year when it comes to the lower peninsula at least has been real lucky when it comes to winter.
Isn't we had those two cold snaps, and
Yeah.
and it, if you just wish they would have reached out to somebody or said, "Hey, can we
Right.
stay there? It's really cold."
Yeah.
Especially when you got an elderly person in the house with you, and that's another thing about this virus. You got to make sure it's not just you. It's you might live.
Mm-hmm.
That person that you're going to meet who's 60 and up, 70 and up, it might do might do a number on them. And also, I know that respiratory diseases tend to affect those who are heavier, a little bit on the heavier side, way a bit more, a lot worse than they do people who are in shape. Now, I'm a big boy, so I'm doubly because plus my immune system's shot anyway. So
Yeah. You have to be extra careful.
yeah, I'm not going out the house. I'm ordering everything. If I could, I'd order myself a second wife, but yeah,
Second wife. We're allowed to do that?
That's not the way that works. Well, yeah.
Oh.
Well, technically you can, but it's not
Yeah.
necessarily legal. You can't take it off of your taxes or anything.
No. The Mormons keep coming to my house, so I'm thinking about it.
Even the Mormons don't do that anymore.
What? Oh, I'm out.
Some stray sects still do, but not the main.
Well, I gotta find the stray.
First foundation of the Mormon religion is to obey the laws of the state. So,
Oh, ew.
well, they
Ew.
don't wanna, they don't want to cause trouble.
No.
That's the way it is.
Starting my own church. Larry,
And a lot of people do.
with your I walked right into that one. Larry, with your book now at the printers and you're getting ready to ship it, are you concerned that some customers may get upset because they haven't got their book because you didn't, because coronavirus slowed it down? Are you prepared to answer those questions?
Nothing has slowed down. Everything has been sped up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, listen, I promised delivery in May. I'm probably going to be doing it in April, so I'm going to be a month early.
Yeah, but you've done this. You've done this before, so to put a couple of contingencies in place.
Well, I mean, if I get some sort of message or something about a delay due to the coronavirus, and there's nothing you can do about that, right? Like life happens. You go onto your social media and you go onto your Kickstarter and you update the people, say, hey, there's a delay. And I think everyone would be understandable about that, especially in the way the world is operating right now.
Yeah.
But as of right now, I don't foresee any delays, and I actually see us being early.
Yeah. Get those books up there. Get those books out there. 'Cause people are gonna be locked in the house. They got nothing but to read them. Get that Niobe fan art email ready.
Well, look, it's really becoming this isolated society this year. I think you're going to really see that come to play, especially during summer. I mean, they canceled parades now in New York City as well, on top of like these conventions. And conventions were just sort of like the first ones to kind of drop off, right? And it wasn't even the conventions that were canceling; it was people canceling the conventions. As in, we don't, like say DC Comics, we're not going to go to Emerald City Comic Con because we want to protect our staff. Well, the minute that started happening, everyone started doing that. You know what I mean? Like Brian Pulido pulled out, and fucking. Dark Horse Comics pulled out, and individual creators were starting to pull out. So regardless of whether the cons themselves actually say, yeah, we're going to roll, it's going to be up to every individual to decide whether they want to attend or take that risk or not. And I'm going to assume that most people aren't going to be willing to do that.
Yeah, my show's not until April, and DC has already announced they're not coming.
Right.
They're not doing my show. That's the same thing, though. As soon as they announced, I says, "Oh, you were doing Emerald City? That's kind of, odd because you don't do conventions. That's why you complain you can't find any new talent.
Yeah,
you don't do shows anymore."
Yeah, that would have been funny. That would be funny to put DC on the cancellation list for.
Well, let me ask you guys this:
Sorry, but DC is
if
not
you
coming
guys
to my
were
show.
invited to do a show in New York next week, would you go do it?
If I could drive to it, yeah.
You would take the chance in the city that Yeah, see, I probably wouldn't. I'd probably be like, yeah, I'll wait the year. you know.
And it probably ticked my wife off too, because she wants to go to New York City really bad.
What about
I
you, Baron? Would you take a chance, going to a hot spot right now and, just to try and make a few extra bucks?
the funny thing is, earlier in the show, I said no, but it's funny because at the same time, I'm like, well, it depends on. And this is gonna sound weird. It depends on who they invited me as. And they invited me as, last call publisher, variant grant, come sell books. Probably not. But if they invited me for some reason, if they invited me as INDIEVOLT, I'd go. It's kind of weird. I know it's like I'm, splitting hairs there, but I'd probably go because yeah, there we go.
They invited you as Indie Volt.
Because
Yeah.
you care more about Indie Vault than your health?
It's like, well, I think that there's news to cover here, because think about it. If a con invited me, I could say, well, okay, let's go down there and let's see how many people show up. They're inviting us down. Let's see who shows up. And if the show floor is empty, that's a story that we can, record and report on. The show floor here is a disaster. There's no one here. Oh my God, everyone's at home. Coronavirus has killed the comic industry. But I wouldn't say that. But we could report on that.
The last show I did in New York was in October of 2001.
Was
like
it?
like the first second week of October. Yeah, that was a ghost town. It was amazing because it was so solemn, and
Yeah.
everybody there was they were selling hats and everybody was applauding for the cops and the firemen, all of that. And Times Square was a ghost town.
Yeah.
We walked through Times Square. There was hardly nobody there. So it was like straight out of Omega Man.
Yeah.
Everyone is going to be dressed up like Snake Eyes now. Like,
Yeah, that's what's gonna happen.
Well,
If you're flying, I wouldn't fly any other way. at
Well,
this
we
point.
were told that we could. Remember, we can't wear masks on the airplane, and you can't go in
Oh,
cosplay
I'm
on
sure
the airplane.
that's been changed.
Yeah. No, I'm wearing a mask. I'm coming in there in a full body condom.
There's a difference between a cosplay mask and a respirator mask.
Excuse me. Oh, I sneezed.
A big difference between doing this and actually wearing a respirator.
well, you got Tom Hanks that came down with the virus apparently as well.
Oh, he was over in Australia and was feeling ill, and they tested him, and he come out positive. So he said, "Guess what? You get to stay an extra couple of weeks." So his son Colin said that he's doing just fine. He was a little run down. He was a little congested for a couple of days, but he's even past that now. He's just because he turned up positive. He's not going anywhere for a couple of weeks. He's self quarantining.
So what happens? Does the virus just eventually die in 2 weeks and you're free to go? Like, how's that work?
It's like an incubation period. Is what they figure. So I'm sure they're going to test him before they let him leave.
Mm-hmm.
So
We hope. It's Australia.
no, I'm sure they will.
It's Australia. They
Especially
tend to be a
since he
little
announced
relaxed.
it.
Now here's
Hey,
I'm gonna
it's
say
Tom
something.
Hanks. What the heck?
I'm gonna say
What's he
something.
doing on
and
this play?
I don't know if my friend from China is listening right now. She may be in the chat room quietly, or on Facebook quietly, but everyone here knows that I love Chinese food, and as such, and my wife can't stand it. She stopped liking it when she got pregnant. For some reason, her body changed, and she can't even handle it, or she throws up and everything. But I have been terrified, and I'm wondering, should I eat Chinese food? Is it okay?
Oh, dude, no, that's outrageous.
It's a little concerning. I'm wondering, like, is it okay? But then again, it's like that sounds like racism to me. It's like, am I being racist or am I being cautious?
You're not. You're being silly. Is what you're being,
Well-
and bordering on. Forgive me for saying it, but bordering on ignorant.
Yeah, well, no, hey, they told us now we can't even handle money. I don't handle money. I'm not
You
allowed
don't
to
want
handle
to.
money.
Money's always been dirty.
My money is never dirty. I told the
Your
government that. and I
money's a
stick
lot
to it.
dirtier than you think, especially your bills, because you don't know
told-
where those bills have been.
I told the government my money is clean. It's been laundered, and it's all fine.
But Chinese food, that's all walked up, dude. That's the oil and super high temperatures. So it's
Larry,
probably- I would consider that to be pretty sterile at this point.
has Vicky got any weird looks from people?
Not that I've noticed,
Mhm.
but you would have to ask her. I mean, she would probably notice that more than I would, Like we were, one time we were walking through the mall and she said a bunch of creepy old men were looking at her. I never
Well,
noticed it.
You
But
know,
what I'm saying
if
is
she was
you don't
dressed hot,
notice
she's
it.
gonna get creepy old men.
It'd be
looking at her
like
anyway.
me and you walking through the mall and say someone gives you a weird look because of the color of your skin. I would have no clue that happened. You probably would. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I'm used to looking for it.
He
Yeah.
gets nervous anytime just going north.
Yeah. I'm hiding in the back seat of the car. Me and Randy I let them sit up front. I hide in the back of the car, lay down. Oh, cop, gotta lay down. Not gonna see me.
I've gotten a couple of weird looks at the airport.
There she
is. Some woman like walked her kid away from me.
what?
Yeah, at the airport, and then like at the hospital, like it was just a few people scowling, but that was about it.
You did this to us. See,
That's when you cough at him. That's all.
Should have coughed in the general direction.
Give you some distance.
Yeah, that's
Well, like Ice-T said, when you cough, now everyone's gonna be like on guard, like holy crap, man.
Yep.
Now, I got a question for you guys. A couple years ago, typhoid fever was horrible.
I think
Plague was
quite a few
horrible.
years ago.
Yeah, plague was horrible. Typhoid was horrible. Now, comic book characters have been named after these characters with the powers. How long before we get a Corona? How long before we get a character?
I can tell you what the next story Niobe's going to be about. It's going to be about fucking panic and fear.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I
always touch upon social issues. I've done suicide and depression. I've done abortion. I can guarantee you, I will be covering this somehow, some way in the next fucking book.
Yeah. Panic, hysteria.
Her best friend's Mia Culpa, and it'll be on the comic and the comic redacted. It is Corona.
I want to thank everybody.
COVID-19.
Yeah.
No, there is no subject too touchy for me to touch. I will cross them all,
Yeah.
And I even warned, the publishers that I submitted to, like, this is how it goes, like it's a reflection of society. And like I submitted to Caliber Comics and they're interested. I submitted to Antarctic Press. I don't know if they're interested or not, but hopefully, my friends over there can give me a push. But the plan is to get published.
Nobody wants to push over at Antarctic right now.
I
push or pull.
It's almost time for us to get out of here for the week, but we'll be back with people. We probably will be breaking in because it's going to be it's going to be a busy weekend. I feel if we're going to get some more cancellations, we'll talk about it. Ace Platinum says, "Hey there, if I had to guess your names, left is Samuel, right is Arthur." Yeah, I like a Sam. I guess I could take a Sam. And Randy, you kind of like Arthur.
Am I Arthur?
Yeah.
Not Merlin? Come on. I am the
Not
Gandalf
Merlin.
of comics, after all. That's what Brian Germain says.
Larry, where can we find you and the beautiful Miss Vicky Kim?
Well, hopefully not in a hospital bed and recovering from corona. Rebel Comics and Gaming on YouTube is where you can find me. Vicky Pie on YouTube is Vicky's new channel. We just launched that yesterday. Okay. Niobe Official Cosplay is Niobe's Instagram account. And Niobe Comic on the Twatter, if you want to twat at me. You can do that.
Oh, yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ace.
Ace says your age is Samuel is 47.
Make me really feel old.
Oh, they're 68.
Hey, Ace, how you doing? I'm well beyond the age of retirement. Ace, you're off. I'm actually 106. So.
And 47 is about right for me. It's very close. Very close. Yeah.
It's not. He didn't even know who Wally Wood was. Come on.
Sam is a comic book
not
store
Wally.
manager and Arthur is a cigarette salesman of 45 years. And they think that you
Say what?
would be.
Samuel's
us.
comic book store manager? Oh, cigarette. No, never smoked. Never sold that.
The
shit.
comic book
I
store
did sell that
manager-
shit actually at one time.
Yeah, the comic book store manager's over there. Randy, you were the comic store manager, right?
I was.
Yeah.
Yes, that was. I met my wife retailing at a comic shop.
Yeah.
That was somewhat close to 30 years ago.
Yeah. So, of course, you can find Mr. Zimmerman,
So,
or
that makes me 45.
as we know him now as Arthur, We can find Arthur where at?
I'm at Randy J Zim at gmail.com. Zim Geek on the YouTube. I have a Twitter, but I don't twit very often. Other than that, I've got a show coming up April 18th at the Flint Farmers Market for now, at least until further notice, and another
Gretchen
one coming
Willing?
up at the end of June at the SVRC Marketplace up in Saginaw. So, and the show will go on as long as the market's open, and I hope that folks in the area will come stop around, have a good time.
And of course, I'll be at his show, Gretchen Whitmer Willing. I'll be at his show, and also you can find me at INDIEVOLT or on Twitter at kid_v. Last Call Comics. My personal website is whenweriot.com. Ace Platinum says, "When did you each last do a poo, Larry?
Riley did it what now?
When's the last time you took a dump?
Yesterday.
Is that
Yesterday.
what a poo is?
We're conserving toilet tissue at Ace.
I haven't been to the 100-acre wood in a while.
Yeah.
I've never done Winnie the Pooh.
And then you never did poo.
I've never been drawn him.
Yeah.
I've had a couple of requests, but
Yeah. No, you know what? I think I told you guys. It's too much information. I know you guys are good, but my body is like set to where I may have to do that like every 2 days. It's weird. I'm probably sick. I don't know it. It's probably killing me. My wife says it's killing me. So, yeah. So sorry.
You
Just
seem
messing
funny.
around. You guys. Anybody, thank you, Ace. We appreciate it, and we're out of here for the week. So
thanks for stopping by. Now we have to go.
Yeah, yeah, we're out of here anyway. It's at our 2-hour mark. Anybody? We might click back in though. So if you're watching us on YouTube,
Or
like
listening
and
to us
subscribe.
on IndieVolt Radio, we might cut in at any time.
Yep, IndieVolt Radio. Thank you. IndieVolt Radio numbers were up to 1332 today, so that's
We
pretty
appreciate each and every one of you listening all over the world.
cool. Yeah. So thanks for watching. We will be back probably this weekend because I'm pretty sure something's gonna happen. I'm gonna be doing some streaming.
No. It's going to be a nice, quiet weekend because, like every other weekend, I'm here in the basement trying to catch up on commercial artwork. So.
That'd be nice. I think I'm gonna do some streaming on my personal channel tonight. Maybe some drawing. I'm not sure, but
we
yeah.
go.
So we'll see you guys on the other side of Tuesday.
The other side, well, Tuesday night at 9
Tuesday
p.m.
night, 9 p.m.
Eastern
Geek-
Standard Time.
Yep. As I understand it, Geekgasm will return this Wednesday. Hopefully, she says.
Geekgasm will also be on at 9 p.m. on Wednesday.
She's not going to
Eastern
cancel
Standard
due to the
Time.
virus.
No, she's not canceling the virus.
She didn't
No,
cancel last week due to the virus. She was injured beyond speaking. So.
Yeah. So we'll see you guys. Everybody out there, stay safe.
And then
Keep your
we'll be
hands
back
clean.
here with the Breakfast Buzz, 9 a.m. on Thursday,
Yeah.
Eastern Standard Time.
Apologize for everything we did Tuesday.
And thanks everybody for being on. Thanks for everybody in the chat.
We'll see you guys later.
Thanks
Don't
everybody
cough
for
on
listening.
each other.
We appreciate all of you.
Don't
Be
call
safe. Be strong. Try not to be too paranoid.
Be paranoid.
And thanks a lot for being here.
Be very paranoid.